5 juicy stocks to watch next week. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. It's a long weekend. The market's closed for 3 days. We're all a bit bored. Let's figure out what we want to look at next week. So I have 5 stocks to speak about today. All very different companies and all ones I am very interested in watching next week because there's some interesting things going on. This is something we like to do on the channel every single Saturday just to get some ideas flowing in people's minds. The weekends are the best time to go and do the research because the markets aren't even open. You get more time to think. So we're coming at you with some ideas, my friends. So right before we do get into the first company of today, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? Drop me a comment down below. I want your watch list for next week. You know, 3, 4, 5 stocks. Let me know what you're watching. You get bonus points if you let me know why. And please, my friend, if you aren't new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button. We are trying to destroy the month of January. And if you are interested in joining my private Discord group, that's the first link in the description, my friends. You get access to all of my buy and sell alerts. You'll find out if I buy any of these companies next week. You get access to over 50 private channels. There's a community of over 600 investors. And to top it off, I'm doing a $1,000 cash giveaway, baby. And if you want some free stocks on Webull, that's the second link in the description, my friends. All you gotta do, hit that link, sign up, deposit $100, you get some free money. But anyway, my friends, let's just jump straight into the first company of today. So this is the first penny stock I ever really invested in. And I've made a couple of videos on them at this stage if you want to go and get loads of juicy information. But there's one primary thing I want to speak about today. So the ticker symbol is OEG. It stands for Orbital Energy Group. Right about here's where I initially made a video on them. They were $1.48 a share. You see, they went and they made highs of $2.80 a share before very quickly coming back down all the way to about $1.80 a share. So it's been a very volatile ride. Now you see the RSI right now is at about 63.64, which is a quite high RSI. But for penny stocks, they often trade at extreme levels. Now I'm invested in this company. I held it over the weekend. The reason you guys need to look at these on Monday is because of this, okay? So they're under pressure on pricing a $10 million registered direct offering. So the last video I made in this company, I spoke about this, and I spoke about why I actually quite like it. So they entered into the purchase agreement with institutional investors for the purchase and sale of 5.55 million shares at a purchase price of $1.80 a share. Now what you'll see is that exact same day, it dipped to exactly $1.80 a share, my friends, and then rebounded back up quite quickly. But those new shares aren't in the market yet. They're not going to be there until January 5th. And that is Tuesday, my friends. That is not Monday. So I'm interested to see what happens Monday. Are people going to try to get in nice and early? Are they going to try to secure some quick profit? Or are we going to trade a little bit sideways in anticipation of this happening? The reason I held personally is because I expect a nice upwards move. You can see that 2 of the last 3 days, they actually opened red. The 29th of December, look, opened red, went right down. Look at that recovery, my friends. The 30th of December, they didn't do very much. They went up, they came down, they traded sideways ultimately. And then again, the 31st, we opened red big time and we came back up green. We didn't quite finish positive. We were down about 6.81%, but it was a great recovery from the bottom. So I'm just going to be watching this price action very closely, my friends. Now do keep in mind, it's a penny stock. It's going to be quite volatile. And one day still doesn't define exactly what I'm going to do with my personal investment. But it's worth keeping your eyes on. And I do think there is absolutely huge potential here. That's why I put $5,000 into them. Now, another one, my friends. Shout out Nick from the Discord. He's going to love me covering this again. The stock we're speaking about is Corsair. Okay, so another one that I am invested in. I'm up a little bit on them, I think. Now, these guys didn't go public all that long ago. You'll see it was in the last week of September. And pretty much all this company did was go up. There was some slight sideways periods, but essentially they went up and up and up. And they made highs of $51 a share. You know, they went public pretty much down here around the 15s. They went on a huge run. Now, it was a very big pullback indeed. And now we have been trading up and down and a little bit sideways in general. Not an awful lot has been happening. So we just want to set the tone here, my friends. This is a long-term investment for me. I think Corsair is an incredible brand and they also have a lot of brand loyalty behind them. If you've seen me speak about Apple in the past, that's something I really love about Apple. It's why I myself am invested in them because I'm very loyal to them. I have a phone, an iPhone obviously, I have a Mac right here. And I think a lot can be said for Corsair as well. Gamers, people who are building their own PCs, they love certain products from this people. And that goes a long way. So considering, you know, now we're at $36 a share, our all-time highs were $50 a share, we're down close to 30%. There was an article here who's speaking about Amazon and Corsair being 2 of the best tech stocks to buy next quarter. And it says there's not a lot in common between the 2, which there really isn't, very different. But both companies have industry-leading earnings growth and both are benefiting from massive tailwinds from a big picture standpoint. Look at Corsair, guys. Look at the growth in gaming. We've spoken about this on the channel loads of time. iGaming in particular. Look, the amount more people are going to be buying really high spec PCs. to either game or work from home, especially while all these lockdowns are going on. They're a worldwide brand. They have a lot of secular tailwinds behind them, and they can thrive in a Roni world or a Roni free world, which is what we'd really love to see. Q3 sales were $457 million, okay? Up 61% year over year, my friends. And they saw gross margin surge to 28%. So essentially, we're seeing a company that is growing very quickly. It has brand recognition, it has customer loyalty, and we have secular tailwinds. Makes a lot of sense, and it could potentially be at quite a nice discount right now, 30% away from its all-time highs. Market cap is currently at $3.33 billion, so I do believe you're paying a little bit of a premium, but I mean, what aren't you paying a bit of a premium for in today's market? So the next one I actually want to speak about is Desktop Metals, okay? One I've been in for a very, very long time, since they were a SPAC. And I'll move myself, because when they were a SPAC, not a lot happened for a little while, okay? A couple of weeks. And then bang, I mean, we went on a run and a half, my friends, okay? So we went from, let's say, most people got in probably $12.50 a share. We went all the way up, made highs of about $25.40. They ran up very, very quickly, followed by a huge dip, okay, then another run up, then a huge dip. This dip here we've seen happen pretty much to every SPAC, every growth stock, not everyone, but you get the picture, a lot of them over the last week or so. And there is a bit of an area of support being made somewhere right around here, you know, so again, they're not too far away from that area, but there is an explanation to an extent for the most recent part of this sell-off. So about a week ago, these guys filed a Form S1 prospectus with the Securities and Exchange Commission for the sale of 3 million shares of stock and the issuance of warrants to buy an additional 25 million shares. So, share dilution, people don't like seeing it in the short term at the very least. So the good thing about the offering is that the new shares may not all appear at once, as the company says it plans to sell its shares only from time to time. This is again something that we see very, very often. The 3 million shares up for sale will come from Desktop Metal insiders who will be cashing out. So this won't dilute the existing shareholders, but it is insider selling. But you know what they say about insider selling? There's many reasons to do it. I don't necessarily take it as a bad flag. So there's no dilution happening from those 3 million shares, but there's no cash going to the company either. But the 25 million warrants will dilute shareholders by nearly 10%. Now, does that warrant a 30+% crash? No, but a little bit of hype took over, then we went public, and then we saw the dip, and this just accelerated it to an extent. Now, the other thing is, okay, the closing price of the warrants on December 22nd was $5.41, and they're exercisable at a price of $11.50, so that's $16.91 total. So that may well explain why the company came right down to that $16.90-ish mark, and this may well be where we somewhat regulate for a little while. This is why I want to keep an eye on these guys next week. I just want to see what happens. I want to see how people react, because again, I am a shareholder and I wouldn't be opposed to buying more at prices like this that I'm happy with, but I wouldn't just jump into things either with the prospects of this share dilution. So just, you know, be careful with it, but keep up to date with it, especially if you are a shareholder. Okay, so I'm going to keep this one really short and sweet. It's Lordstown Motors, and I literally just uploaded a full video on these guys earlier on. Have to be my favorite small cap EV company out there. Full stop, with a long-term perspective. I just think they are in an absolutely incredible place to grow, and I don't think the price is justified right now. I think we should be higher, in all honesty. We broke past $30 on 2 separate occasions, okay? The business has not fundamentally been in such a good place as it is now. Back when we hit 30 the first time, I mean, so much has changed since then. We have more than doubled pre-orders. We work with Camping World. We're on beta.sam.gov. So much good things have happened. It's actually insane that we are 30% down from there, in my opinion. I find it funny. Now, that was overextension. I don't think we deserve to be that high that quickly. I will be completely honest with you. I do think we deserve to be that high, just a little bit healthier, a little bit slower and steadier. So, there was a huge crash. Okay, we broke every support in the whole world. We went on a nice little recovery. Okay, we made a small gap. We recently filled in that gap absolutely perfectly. Now we're at about $20 a share. Okay. A very prominent area of support for me is somewhere around $18.90, maybe even a little bit lower, $18.60. And then ultimately the floor would be around $15.50 to maybe even $16. But just watch these guys. I think it's insane that we are at these prices. But, you know, that's what EV stocks do in the short term. The market does not have to make sense. It does not have to agree with you. It doesn't have to be rational. But if you're like me, you plan on holding these guys for 3, 4, 5+ years down the line, I think we're in a very, very good position, my friends. Okay, and then the final company I want to speak about today is, again, a company I made a full video on yesterday. But we're trading in some very, very interesting ranges. So Palantir went public, okay? A little backdrop. Nothing really happened for a long time. I mean, look, we went public all the way back here, 30th of September. Nothing happened until the start of November. Then they essentially went parabolic. They ran up a couple of 100% in a matter of a couple of weeks. Then we had this pullback, and we have created this quite large area of consolidation ever since. And what I want to say is the RSI is looking a little bit low, and we're literally right on our line of support. We just, for pretty much the first time ever, broke below our 50-day moving average, and that MACD is looking bearish. So I think we could be in for a little bit of a reversal very soon is what I'm trying to get at. So, you know, I have my support at around 2350, 2359, whatever. And then the resistance is up at 2940, so that's kind of the range I'll be looking towards. I think if we can break through there with quite a bit of momentum, we make new all-time highs essentially. But I do genuinely believe, and this is important, there is potential we come lower in the short term. This is an area I'd be looking at somewhere between the high 17s to the mid 18s, maybe even 19s. But the growth they have is incredible. They are working with governments, people. I mean, they just got 3 new and updated government contracts in the last couple of weeks. That's with the army, the NHS. They work with the FBI, the CIA. They have access to data that pretty much nobody else in the world does, and they have technology that can do things that nobody else in the world does. They are an asset to the government. With that being said, do they deserve to be this price? I still think we're paying a little bit of a premium, okay? That's normal. You pay premiums for companies. This is something people have to get into their head, but that does not mean that it can't come back down to somewhere around the 18 to 20 something-ish dollar mark at some stage before I ultimately do believe we go on a long-term run up. But again, guys, this is a long-term investment to me personally. I'm not swinging Palantir or anything of the likes. But my friends, there are 5 stocks to look at, 5 very different stocks to look at going into next week. If you watch this video all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support genuinely means the world to me. If you enjoyed the video, took some value, some entertainment, some insight, maybe you got a new stock for your watch list, could I please ask you to hit that like button, drop me a comment down below, and please, my friend, subscribe if you're new around here. Again, if you are interested in joining that private Discord group, so much juicy information in there. We speak about all of these stocks in there. You get my buy and sell alerts. You get to speak with over 600 investors all day, every day. It's a beautiful community, and that's the first link in the description. And you're going to have the chance to win some money. We're doing that $1,000 giveaway. And if you want your free stocks on Webull, that's the second link in the description, my friends. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have an absolutely beautiful day. I'll see you for another video very soon. Peace.